Main plan, don't get injured. Have a season of not being injured and being able to race would be really nice. Yeah, so this year, there's so many different things going on in the triathlon world, so it's going to be a very exciting year. I think both as like an athlete and as people spectating. So there's so many races to watch, there'll be so many super competitive races, which is really cool. I, obviously, after my not very good last year, I'm ranked very badly right now. I think I'm just about in the top 100, but yeah, basically because I wasn't ranked in the top 16, I don't have the option of the T100 series. Obviously, it's like, A, it's really good money, B, it's really cool racing in some like great places. Probably still wouldn't be that great for the type of athlete I am at the moment, in terms of like my swim's still not where it needs to be. Those kind of fast, furious races, I think if you're not coming out in that lead pack, it's not going to be that fun. And I'd say, yeah, run speed wise as well, obviously hoping that if I have a nice consistent year, like by the end of this year, hopefully that speed is much better than it is at the moment. But yeah, I think even had I had the opportunity for T100, I mean, I would have 100% taken it, just because I think it's such a great idea, everyone's racing it. I'll definitely be having massive FOMO when everyone's at all those races. It would have been quite a hard decision of like, I know it wouldn't be the best racing for me. I know at this point, with where I am, like athletically, like I wouldn't be podiuming against that calibre of girls, and is that the kind of racing that would make me feel good as an athlete? Probably not. But as an athlete spectating, it's going to be bloody brilliant. But yeah, so that means for me this year, my main focus is going to be the Ironman series. Again, another really great thing that Ironman have kind of responded to the PTO. More money in the sport, the fact that we've got certain races that you know are going to be more competitive because they're the ones that you have to do to then be eligible for the money at the end of the season, again, is really exciting. I think it's something that a few of us have said a few times, like actually like the best Ironmans are the ones where more people are there, which has been because they've been like a European champs or something. But yeah, with the series, it basically means lots of different races to pick from. What's really nice for me this year, I can basically do all of my racing in Europe, which, like, you know, the big trips, they're great in some ways, but actually knowing that I've got a really good block now until I start racing, that then all my travel's really easy, so actually I don't have to go out that early to races if I don't want. That's quite nice. And knowing that you can fly in like 3 days before, not be jet lagged, not have like long travel to get over. So yeah, the rough race plan, which obviously it can all change depending on what happens. So obviously I've got London Marathon as my first like event, so 21st of April. Then I'm going to start my triathlon season at 7.3 Mallorca. I have great memories from Mallorca, with it being my first Ironman win. Really like that course. It's got like a good climb in it on the bike. It's, yeah, just a good course. I like being out there. I think it'll be pretty competitive because of it being like a big European one, and I think the first European one in the series. So I'm expecting that to be quite a tough race. Plus I'll be 3 weeks post-marathon, but like, yeah, Mallorca seemed like a good one to start out. Then I'm planning on doing Ironman Hamburg, beginning of June. So that'll be my first Ironman. again, interesting to see how competitive it'll be from it. I think most people doing the series will start in Texas, with it just being at the beginning of the year. So it gives people a bit more leeway around which races they choose, and if something goes wrong, like you get mechanical or whatever. But then it'll be interesting to see the kind of some of the American athletes that aren't doing T100. Are they going to travel over to Europe? Some of the European athletes that had travelled over to Texas, do they want longer in between races? You know, like it, we'll see. But it's also European champs, so that might mean it's still got a really good field. But yeah, looking forward to racing that. It looks like a nice, flat, fast course. Because for the Ironman series, you basically have to do 3 Ironmans if you want a chance of doing well, because they score the best. I'll probably look to then do Ironman Victoria mid-July. And this is also because Nice is basically the last Ironman that you can do as a woman. So yeah, I'm having to sort of cram mine in a little bit. But again, Victoria looks great, nice rolling bike course, could be really hot, but travel's quite easy. And then Nice, probably maybe another 70.3 in there at some point. And then maybe 7.3 Worlds, kind of depending on how stuff's going. So yeah, that's like rough plan. Obviously, like I said, you know, say Hamburg doesn't go to plan and something happens, then we'll probably have to rethink the year a little bit. But yeah, I think hopefully it will kind of go through smoothly, get a good amount of racing in, and see what happens. So I think it's really cool that all the top women have taken their contracts. Yeah, I think triathlon needs more racing where you get all the top people racing each other. I think that's what makes it exciting. You get rivalries. I think you also get to see people's different strengths on different courses, as opposed to say like Kona, which so Kona and like Roth last year for the women was probably the only time we've had like most of the top people racing each other. And I guess that's an Ironman distance. Like there have been, you don't tend to get it as much over 7.3. Like there's obviously been a few of the previous PTO races that we've had it. But yeah, for whatever reason, 7.3 Worlds, I'd say for the last few years, hasn't had everyone there, or like all the people that you might expect to be competitive. So yeah, I think the fact that they've all taken the contracts, I think what's going to be interesting will be who's trying to juggle that alongside Ironman series, or who's potentially juggling that alongside trying to qualify for Nice and going to Nice. I think there'll be some people, like I said, Lucy's basically said she won't be in Nice. Again, who knows, anything could happen. She might decide that actually she wants to do it, but I think Lucy's always been someone that steps up to challenges, and I think for her, the T100 at the moment is a bigger challenge than Ironman World Champs. And especially on a course that, you know, she spends a lot of time on Zwift. And, you know, I think she said that bike course is not one that massively jumps out and appeals to her. So I actually think it's quite a, like, brave decision to not defend in Nice. I think, so yeah, obviously some people have sort of taken that as a she doesn't think Nice is as good as Kona. I don't think that's it at all. It's just different. And I think for her, with Kona being somewhere that she's had 4 second places and then finally won it, is obviously personally for her got way more significance than somewhere like Nice. But yeah, I think what will be more interesting will be to see some of the other women, like will Anne be in Nice? Will Chelsea come to, you know, there's like so many women that it's like actually, depending on how T100's going, depending on if they either verify or qualify elsewhere, it's a lot of racing. If you're doing 6 T100 races and an Ironman to ratify and Nice and all that travel, that's a lot. So yeah, be interesting to see.